I'm Nicole Herman, and this is Natalie.
Hi.
And we're here to do a makeup tutorial on hooded eyes or deep set eyes. And before we get started, I'll just kind of, if you want to look at the camera for a moment. So there's a few different types of eye types, and you can't just say all hooded eyes or all deep set eyes are the same. But looking at Natalie's eyes, you can see that the space between her lash line and her eyebrows is a little bit smaller. And I would say her eyes are a combination of hooded and deep set. So deep set means that she's got these great almond-shaped eyes that are kind of receding. And so if you use a lot of dark colors, it can make it look darker versus having it come forward. Hi, Christine. Hi, Marilyn. Hello, everyone. So what we're going to do is make her eyes more open, more awake. And then this is the part of the eye that many women complain about. You know, it can either be that they're born with more of a hooded eye shape, or sometimes as we age, our eyes start to sag or start to look more tired. And Natalie is also in the industry, so she takes great care of her skin, so she doesn't have as much of those issues. But we're going to give some tips. So to start off with, women who have hooded eyes, and I'm going to be mostly off camera and you'll see my hands reaching, but women who have hooded eyes often, have problems with product smearing or creasing. So it's really important to use good primers before starting. So I'm going to use a combination of two different ones. I'm going to use the Limelight by Alcone First Base Primer Spray, as well as the Smashbox 24-Hour Eyeshadow Primer. So I'm going to give this a good shake. And this will be a little longer tutorial, but pop in if you have questions. So I'm going to mist the face with the primer spray. And this is great too. And the difference between a primer and a setting spray is a primer doesn't necessarily make your makeup wear longer. It just makes it go on better and smoother. It helps smooth out fine lines. We've already prepped Natalie's face with skincare, which is really important. Now, I forgot to ask you, are you going anywhere after this?
I guess I should be, right?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to know, because I was either going to do a bad job on one side and kind of do it, but we can always do that.
I'm going to get a hitch put on my truck, so.
We'll keep it nice, but another time I'll do like what not to do on one eye, because I think, that's good to see too.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you close. So when you use eye primers, you want to make sure you don't use too much product. If you put too much product on, it's going to have the opposite effect, and the products are going to roll. So I'm just putting this on with my finger. And then we're going to prime it with and set the primer with a powder. So I'm going to take a nice big brush off camera. It's lovely when you have had a lot of brushes but hard to find. So Natalie, how long have you been in the cosmetics industry?
Oh boy. Let me see. Gosh, too long. I started when I was in high school doing my own makeup. My sister was in cosmetics, but officially, professionally, for 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I've always been obsessed with the beauty industry, loved it. Just really passionate about trends and beauty and skincare and helping women, client service, education, training. It's just so needed. It's something that will never go away, should never go away.
I agree. So what I'm taking now is, we have a colorless powder. It's a translucent powder. And later, I haven't done anything on her skin but skincare. I'm going to do the eyes first too, so if there's any fallout, this will clean it up. But you can see it has a nice, great base to work with. So the first thing we're going to do, before we even start any eye makeup, the first thing that can really make a huge difference on your eyes when you have more of this eye shape is making sure that you fill in your brows. Without filled in brows, it can look very tired, and we want to give a little bit of arch and lift. So there's a trick to giving it a tiny bit more arch. Hi everybody, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask. So what I do is I like to take the brow hairs and brush them down first. And we're not going to leave them brushed down, but the reason why is we're going to give her eyes a little bit more of an arch, which is going to create a lift. So now I'm using the color called, Ashen for Trouble, number 28. And that is from our Neutral Eyes palette. And all of these can be sold individually, or you can build palettes, customizable palettes. So this one is a little bit more ashy. You want to make sure you don't go too warm on the brows, especially for a lot of women, if you have any ruddiness or redness, if you go a little bit too warm, it's going to turn red, and it's not very flattering. So we're just going to do this nice, pretty color called Ashen for Trouble. So silly.
No, I'm excited because young girls out there, don't overpluck your eyebrows. They don't grow back.
So you can kind of see where her arch is. It's usually offset from the iris, and we're going to slightly go above and do fine. And if you think of anyone else who would love watching this video, there's a button where you can click and invite your friends to watch. And I would much appreciate it. I really enjoy the feedback I get from these tutorials. It's just great to, I think, not enough influencers, YouTube tutorials feature people besides themselves. And though I appreciate all of you watching me, I think it gets boring, and it's good to see different models because, you know, you can identify with them. Not everybody has the same eye shape or face shape, and it's good to see makeup on different people and different face types. You can see how just doing that, you know, how much more open.
Wow.
So even if we did nothing else, that makes such a huge difference. And you can see, then what I do is I take the spoolie and I brush it up and over, and so it makes the powder look like more like brush hairs. If you're someone who has very oily skin and you have problems with your product's setting, you can use our setting spray, which is the 10 years younger, and you can either spray it and make the product waterproof, or I'm just going to spritz the spoolie like so and go through here, and that's just going to help give it a little bit of hold. So you can see already, and then just gorgeous. You can really,
Yeah, that looks great.
and yet it doesn't look overdone. So we're going to do the other eye. Now remember, even though I like to do these tutorials, it never replaces a good makeup lesson or consultation. So hopefully you will gain some things to take away from this, but if you want to learn specifically for your eye shape and eye type tips and tricks, you know, you can contact me to see me live in person, or we can even do a Skype session. Love technology. And then we just kind of brush it over. Sorry, on certain sides I know you can't see as well, everyone. And then we'll take a little setting spray. Okay. So now we're just going to talk about some do's and don'ts. This will really help. So and of course, there's not just one technique for deep set eyes or hooded eyes, and everybody's a little bit different. But the first thing we want to focus on is we want to brighten under the brows. We want to make sure that that's nice and bright, but we don't want to use shimmer there. Because using a lot of shimmer here, it can kind of start to get shimmer into the crease. And so if you have mature eyes, you hooded eyes, deep set eyes, you can use shimmer, but the places where you're going to want to use shimmer is either like a halo effect, where it's in the center of the lid right here, or making this area of the eye brighter. And since Natalie eyes are a little bit more deep set, and when her eyes are open, good morning, Melissa, you see that this part of her eye, this inner part of her lid, shows. So we want to emphasize that versus doing too much on the center of the lid. We also want to make sure that we leave some area to do a crease. So if your eyes are deep set or hooded, you have to cheat the crease a little bit higher. And so if we were to follow her natural eye fold, which is right here, if I were to put the crease color there, then when Natalie's eyes would open, it would make her eyes recede deeper. So remember, dark brings forward, or dark recedes, and light brings forward. We're going to use this color called Pink Happy Thoughts. It's a nice bright color.
It's a perfect name for a color today.
I know.
Yeah, I've always had like a downturned puppy dog eyes. It's just as you get older, they got deeper. So there's a lot of probably young girls that have a natural downturned, deep shape eye that could use this tutorial as well.
Absolutely. And I always think it's not about, I hate the term corrective eye makeup, because I don't want to change and correct someone's eye shape. That's what makes people unique. I think it's more about enhancing what you have and finding ways to make it, you know, open the eye, make us look more awake, but not change them. You know, I love that people have deep set eyes, monolids, lots of different variations. Also in the crease, sometimes not using all browns or grays, doing something a little bit brighter, like this blush hour is going to also help open up the eyes. And Natalie has really pretty blue-green eyes, so it's going to emphasize the color. So I'm using this pointed blender with a little bit of that color. Is everybody able to see pretty good too? I messed around with the lighting. It's raining here in Michigan, so I'm going to have you face the camera again. So keep your eyes open, and this is an important trick. When the eyes are open, you can see how much is really going to show. And so I'm going to start out here, and I'm doing little circles like this, and just bring them a little bit higher than her natural fold. And the reason why, again, is if I did it into the actual fold of the eye and crease of the eye, it would make her eyes recede more. And so we're just doing a little bit higher. And this is a matte shade. You definitely do not want to use any shimmer in the crease. Because again, if light brings forward and dark recedes, if you're using a light, a shimmer will reflect light. Plus it's also going to accentuate any kind of crepiness in the eyes and texture. So you can see just doing that one eye to the other, how both the color is really playing off of her eye color as well as opening up her eye. And that's why keeping your eyes open makes such a big difference.
Yeah, that looks great.
Thank you. Will you turn this way again? A little bit this way to me. And then we're going to just go, I'm pretty much sitting on Natalie's lap. It's the only way I can like
I'm a little tall too, so.
It's funny. I'm trying to find a way to, I decided, no, I don't have any makeup on, but more than that, it just helps to, I think, focus on Natalie so you can see what I'm doing better. So we're going into here. There we go. Hi, Lori. Hi, Amanda. Now, I love this Onyx palette. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. This Onyx palette is a smoky eye palette that intimidates a lot of people. But I like this shade here. It's nice and bright. It's almost opalescent. And to make it stand out more, what I'm going to do is take that setting spray and just dampen the brush a little bit. And this step is going to be really fun. It's going to really make her eyes open up. I appreciate you modeling for me. This was fun.
Oh yeah, I love it. Anytime
Yeah.
someone else can do your makeup.
Right. And then I'm going to go in here, and I'm not going to take it back onto this part of her lid. I'm going to focus more what is going to be open, and you're going to see when Natalie's eyes are open. And they'll still look pretty when her eyes are closed, but this is the biggest secret I can tell you, is for any kind of hooded, deep set eye, is do a lot of your eye makeup with your eyes open so you can see where it's going to naturally fall. So you can see how this area right here, and open your eyes for me. I'm going to even go into that inner V a little bit and really brighten that area. Do you see how that brings her eyes forward and opens them up? And we'll do the other one. Morning, Jennifer. All these fun people popping in. Again, if you like watching this and you know someone who has, different eye shapes that want to watch this, invite them to watch. Turn your head a little bit this way. And I'm going to go pop it again here into that inner corner. And when I want something to be more placed versus blended away, hi Trini, look down for me. I go in here. My sister-in-law said she wanted to watch this one. And so I'm patting it in rather than rubbing it, because we don't want that color to go away. So if you're just joining me now, I'm talking about how it's all about creating the eyes to be open, and the important part is where you place the color. So you can see how that really has opened her eyes.
That looks great.
Thanks. So now we're going to move in, and I love that you can use these products in more than one way. So we're going to take this Ashen for Trouble and use this on the eye. And so it's about creating more dimension and placement. So this color is not going to go as high as we did with the blush hour into the crease. This one is going to go more into this outer corner here. If you can see that. So this outer third, we're going to go kind of back and forth into a circle and start creating dimension there. And so I always place the brush first where I want it to be the darkest. And then as the product wears off, it can kind of blend. That's helps you blend.
That looks great.
And I love, it's kind of like a gray brown, more of a cool brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that looks really pretty with pinks. And I'm going to use a little bit of a makeup wipe because I got a tiny bit of fallout, but that's why we do the eyes first. And I can't wait for all of you to see this after I put concealer on because I always think,
Yeah, my dark
well, I'm not trying to
no, my dark circle. I know.
Look straight up.
Listen,
Well,
I own them.
and I love, like, I'm such a dork. People always apologize, like, oh, don't mind me. Oh, hi, Lisa. Hi, Stacy. But people will say to me, oh, don't mind me. I have acne. Don't mind me. I have lines or I have this. I'm like, no, I love it.
Yeah,
I like doing makeup for it. It's more rewarding and satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and keep your eyes open again. And then look right here. Like a photographer. Look at my finger. Right here. Perfect. And so I'm going to go into this outer corner and really doing that circular motion and then working backward onto the eye. And I will admit, if something isn't completely symmetrical, it is challenging to do makeup on camera and make it turn out. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is how to place liner, because a liner can be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy when you have a hooded eye or deep set eye. And you really have to look at the dimensions of your eye space. If you have a lot of real estate on your eye, you can get away with a thicker liner. But the problem with that is if you are making your liner thick, it can overwhelm the eyes and make them look a lot smaller, which we don't want. Just want to make sure this is blended good. So far we've had all matte color, except for the only thing that hasn't been matte. This is more of a satin finish, so that is reflecting light and opening up her eyes. So the first technique we're going to really do to make her eyes open up further, we want the lashes to be defined, but we don't want a thick liner, because if you can see, if I make the liner thick here, that's going to close in her eyes and they're going to appear much smaller. And we want to keep them nice and bright and emphasize her eyes. We don't want to take away from them. So I'm spraying the setting spray, again, just so I can dampen my brush. And I'm going to use a black, because today we're going to do more of a smoky eye. So I'm going to use this really pretty black from the Onyx palette. And this will not ruin your shadow. These shadows can be used wet or dry. It just makes it more water resistant. I'm going to have you look down. And I'm just going to gently lift. And I'm going to press and squiggle with this angle brush. And this is safe for the waterline and the upper lash line. But this is going to really take a peek. Oops, sorry. Someone is... Oh, shoot. All right, we're back. I had a little bit of a problem. So then look.
Do you need the light on?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to fix the light. Here, there we go. I got it. I'm going to have you look this way, Natalie. I'm going to go into the inner corner. Sometimes you want to go in the inner corner, sometimes you don't want to connect it. The reason why I'm connecting it is I want that high contrast between the light color in her inner corner of her eye, so that makes that light stand out even more.
That looks great.
Yeah, and that's plenty of liner. So a lot of times women, because so many people are wearing wing liners, they're married to the idea of doing a wing liner. And the problem is, if you were to do a wing liner like this, you're going to have to like pull the eye, you're going to have to stretch it, and it's really hard because you have to do it with your eyes open. And it's not necessarily, don't be so married to the idea of having a wing liner. It's not necessarily for every eye shape, and sometimes you're creating more work. Because if you just do it without pulling, it's going to get caught up in the fold and be uneven.
Yeah.
And so for most people, I say, stay away from wing liners for
I
this eye
never
shape.
can get my eye the match. I can do it on other women, but I can't do it on myself.
Yep.
And they pull my eye down.
So instead, I'm just showing you another option, is you can go thick to thin. So instead of a wing liner, this is just with the eye kind of closed. I'm making it thicker on the outside. So that gives a little bit of a lift.
Yeah, that looks great.
And then you can even, I don't want this to be so literal. I want it to just be more suggestive than, so I'm going to take the brush and blend it. And that just gives her nice lift and dimension.
Oh my God, I love that.
So, and again, all these tips is like, I don't like to just say rules. Because every eye shape is a little bit different. Even if someone has deep set eyes or hooded eyes, not everyone's are exactly the same. But doing a little bit of color underneath can lift the eyes. But I'm going to avoid
Are
going...
you using perfect eyeliner or perfect eyeshadow?
I'm using eyeshadow. Hi, Jessica. Jessica, do you know Natalie? I think so. You remember her from Nordstrom?
I think so, yeah.
Yep. So a lot of times with either a downturned eye, doing a little bit of shadow underneath, but it's all how you do it. If we do it across, all the way across, it's going to make our eyes look more downturned. If we do it mostly on the outside, almost this kind of a shape, it's going to create an upward shape. Hi, Christy. So I'm going to use this color now from the Onyx palette. And a lot of times, I love that trick where you go with a little bit darker eyeliner on top and a little bit lighter underneath. So look straight up. And I'm using the smoky eyeliner brush. And I'm just going to smoke it thicker on the outside and thinner as we work inward. There we go. Plus we have that light shade on the inner corner. So it looks, you could either totally skip this step, but if you are going to do it underneath, you almost like create an upward shape from underneath. So it gives her a nice lift.
It looks so good.
Thank you. And before we finish the other eye, just because we're short on time, I might do more finishing of the eye off camera, just so I don't bore you. But I am going to put false lashes on today.
Oh my.
And that is a huge thing. If you have hooded eyes or deep set eyes, wearing lashes or spending extra time using lash serums to make your lashes grow, it's going to really open the eye because it's going to kind of come above the crease and create this open effect. And choosing your lashes are really important to choose them based on your eye shape. So if someone's eyes are very wide, sometimes going with a lash that's fuller here can make a big difference. Or if they're downturned, there's all these different tricks you can do with lashes. Do you like wearing false lashes?
You know, I do. I actually bought some of those magnetic lashes.
What do you think of them?
I love them. It just takes a little while to get used to how to put them on. But I do, but I don't wear false lashes a lot.
First. I like the individual clusters, which is what I'm going to use today. Because sometimes you don't need them all the way across. And even with full straps, I often measure them and customize them for someone's eye shape. So a lot of times doing the bottom lashes first can help, so that way you don't have smudges. And I'm going to have you close. And this is our Perfect Mascara. It's a one-step fiber lash mascara. It comes back on May 31st. We had a little bit of a frenzy to get our products, where Limelight is a company based in New York, and it's amazing, but small business that wasn't expecting that. Like, I mean, we went from having $1 million a year to $1 million a month to $1 million day.
Oh my God, that happens though.
Yep. So we just partnered with L'Occitane, which is very exciting.
Oh wow.
So Natalie and I met when I was working for Nordstrom as a beauty stylist, and she is amazing, just a wealth of knowledge. And then open.
Wow.
You know, I could go like write a whole blog post about coconut oil. I think it's being overhyped for everything that it can do. And she was asking me a question about coconut oil and lavender oil. I do love lavender essential oil, but it can be an irritant actually for the skin, so you have to be careful using it so close to your eyes. I would recommend getting Latisse, or I do like the Rodan and Fields serums, or something that's specifically made for the eyes. I would like to say that a natural product does as well, but I just don't think it does. I think, you know, like Latisse and things work much better for growing lashes. And coconut oil, I don't think it's the best thing for your face. Just straight up coconut oil. It's a little bit too occlusive.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I use it on my body, my face. Yeah, I did it a couple times and it was too much. And I love essential oils. It's
Yes.
Or my hair.
I think, you know what, I like coconut oil making like your own body scrub or something like that. That's really fun. I just don't think it's like sitting on your skin, it's the best thing. It's like good to kind of, you know, put it on, rinse, and then it leaves a little bit of a film behind.
Yeah.
Now that's just my opinion, Christy, so don't take it, you know, take it too much to heart. I'm going to take, so these are kind of like drop lashes by Kiss. And these are like thick little clusters. So they're a little bit faster than doing, you know, the true individual lashes. And you have to be careful pulling them out so that they don't get torn and look like spider legs. And there's a little glue pocket. I like to work when the glue is a little bit tacky. So I'm just going to put this glue in there. It's Duo in black, and let it dry for a moment. And then we'll come back to it. But while we're doing that, I'm going to show you my favorite thing in the world, covering any kind of dark circles.
Good. Because that's my obsession.
Oh, hi, Jessica. Jessica was just at my house.
Oh.
With her 2 adorable kids. Such cute kids. So most, you know, a lot of women, I would say, unless you're very deep skin tone, maybe Indian skin, you would want something a little bit darker than this. But the 3 is salmon colored. And salmon color is really good for around the eyes because it's going to cancel out. And if you don't cancel out any kind of darkness, you're not going to see the best results. And just because we had a little fallout, this is a make-off wipe from Limelight. I'm just going to clean up before I do it. And being that we did that primer step,